Hi there, my name is Luke, and today we'll be troubleshooting this network. So we have a pretty simple network of just four routers connected in a row, starting from router 0, then to 1, 2, and finally router 3. And our issue here is that router 0 is not able to ping router 3 at its IP address. And we know that it is not a routing issue in this case, and that the routes are pre-configured and correct. So before we start, let's make sure we actually are experiencing the issue. And let's do that with a simple ping command. Let's go to the command line interface of router 1 and just try to ping the address of router 3, which is 192.168.30.2. And let's see what happens. Okay, so our success rate is 0%, meaning none of the pings got there. So that is true. Router 1, sorry, not router 1. Router 0 is not able to ping to router 3. Okay, we know that it's not a routing issue, so it's most likely going to be something with the interfaces. And if you can see here, there's definitely something wrong with the section from router 1 to router 2, because this line is down, as we can see with the red triangles. So let's take a look at this section first. Let's open router 1. Use the enable command, and then the configure terminal command to enter configuration mode. All right, now we want to see the interfaces first. So the command to do that is going to be show IP interfaces brief. So do show IP interface brief. And the reason I added the do was because this command is actually a privileged mode command. And we are in configuration mode, which is one level higher. So if anytime you want to do a command, execute a command that's from a level below, you add the do keyword ahead of time. If I try to just say show IP interface brief here, it's going to give me an error. Okay, so let's see what we're dealing with here. This interface, G000, has an IP address of 192.168.10.2, and the status is up and up. This is the layer 1 status, and this is the layer 2 status. So this interface right here looks good. The interface G001 has an IP address of 192.168.20.1, so that looks good. The status is up and down. Now, because the layer 1 status is up and the layer 2 status is down, this means that things are up on our end, but we can't reach the other end. There's no connection here. So router 1 looks good here. So let's actually move to router 2 and see what's going on there. See if we can figure it out. So I'm going to enter the same commands, but this time I'm going to use the shorthand commands. Okay. So for the interface G000, we have the IP address of 192.168.20.2, and the status is administratively down. So what this means is that this interface here on router 2 actually has the shutdown command applied to it. So we need to go ahead and remove that. So the way to do that is, first you have to get into the interface configuration. So we interface G000. And then to remove any command in Cisco, you just add the no keyword in front of it. So to undo the shutdown, we just simply type no shutdown. And let's take a look at the status now. The status is now changed from administratively down to up. And now the protocol, the layer 2 status is also up. As we can see, this line here has turned from red to green. That's cool. Okay, before we close out of router 2, we also should check the other interface here. And it turns out we can find another mistake, which is that the IP address for this is unassigned. If the IP address is unassigned, that means the router 3 over here won't be able to find router 2 with this IP address. So we need to go ahead and assign that. So let's go to interface 001. And the IP address, we could set it with the command IP address, and then the address and the subnet mask. However, we have a problem. We don't actually know the subnet mask yet. However, we do know that these two are actually part of the same network. So if we go and find the IP address in this side, we'll be able to figure out the subnet mask. So let's go to router 3, enable, and then let's say show IP interface. Let's use the long form command this time because we want to find the subnet mask as well, which wasn't available to us in the brief version of the command. And as we can see, we have a subnet mask of 24. So that, or in dotted decimal 255.255.255.0. So that will be the subnet mask we use to configure router 2. Let's go back to router 2 now. And let's go with the command IP address. The IP is going to be 192.168.30.1, and the subnet mask is going to be 255.255.255.0. Exit, and then let's do show IP interface brief, and you can see we've assigned the correct IP address. Now, before we go and check again, we should also double check router 3 and router 0 for issues. So let's go to router 3. Let's go to show IP int brief. So G00 192.168.30.2, and it's up and up. So that looks good. One small thing here is that we're not actually using this interface 001, and it's unassigned. So what we can actually go ahead is int G001. I'm going to apply the shutdown command to it because we're not going to use the interface. This having it open wouldn't affect anything, but you can go ahead and just shut this down. See, so that's how you apply the shutdown command to something. So looks like this interface is good, so router 3 should be good. And on router 0, we also only have one interface. So G000 192.168.10.5. Okay, so this is not the correct IP address. So let's go ahead and change that. So as always, go to configure terminal mode, get to the interface G000, and then IP address 192.168.10.1 with the 255.255.255.0 subnet mask. And then let's go back and then do show IP int brief. And looks like we've changed the IP address from 10.5 to 10.1, so it should be correct now. All right, so now that we've double checked everything, we can go and try and ping router 3 from router 0 again. So in router 0, let's ping 192.168.30.2. And the first few packets didn't make it because probably there were ARP calls being sent and the pings might have timed out. But you can see that now that the routers know each other, if I rerun the command again, we get a success rate of 100%. So looks like we figured out the configuration issues here. So as we can see, it's very important to make sure all your interfaces are configured correctly. Everything in layer 2 is configured correctly. Because everything in the network layer and above all depends on your layers 1 and 2 of the OSI model working properly. As you could see, this case, all our routes that were pre-configured, they were already correct. However, we had a problem with the interfaces, which kind of broke everything. One last thing is that just because this line is up doesn't mean that you didn't have configuration issues. As we saw in the beginning, these two lines were green over here, and only this line in the middle was red. But we still found a IP address misconfiguration on router 0, which could really mess things up.